Machalokes Machaber Ramah over here in Sif Gimel. If you put the Ben Yomo, Kalim together in the water at the same time, milchiks and fleishiks, but there's no actual milchiks or fleishiks, is it also? Machaber says it's mutter, it's not barnat, and the Ramah says it's also. The two reasons: either they touch the Kalim and it goes directly from one kli to the other, or because it comes out simultaneously in the water. Now, just one point here. The Bari Shulchan and Osnu Zayin quotes Machalokes Achronim. According to the Ramah, is this basur b'chalav daraisa or not? According to the Chazon Ish, it's daraisa. According to the Pri Megadim, it's drabana, because there's no mamashas, neither a basur or a chalav. It's explicit in Simon Tzadi Daled that if you cook milk in a fleshik pot, it's basur b'chalav daraisa. That's for sure. But here, where neither one is be'en, that is a machlokes here between the Chazon Ish and the Pri Megadim. That is point number one. Two. We had this that if one is a ben yom and one is not a ben yom, then everything is mutter, but you're supposed to spill out the water. So the Bari Shulchan in Os Tzamachay says even if both are not ben yom, we should also throw out the water. The Ramah wrote, starting from where the Sif Zayin of the Shach is, that if you pour from a kli, which is mefleshik, boiling hot water, onto milchik kli, that also depends on the machlokes machaber Ramah, and according to the Ramah, it is also right. You have to kasher the kli. That's what he writes. The Shach writes here in Sifkot and Hay. This is the Shach we never did. Okay. Now, remember over here, the Ramah wrote what? That you pour it from the fleshik kli on the milchik kli, it's also correct. Then, if you remember the Shach we did last time at the end in Os Yud Zayin said in Torah Chatos, he says it's Aser, but in the case of the Hefsim Ruba, you can be Meiko. Doesn't say it's totally Aser. He says that the Malkam Hefsim Ruba or the Tzarach, you can be Meiko. Fine. Now, back over here in Sif Beis, when you have nat bar nat, you cook the potatoes in a fleshik pot. Ben Yomo can't eat it with cottage cheese. The Ramah wrote here that what you can eat them on milchik kalim. So the Shach wants to put the two Ramahs together. Look at the Shach. To put them on milchik kalim is mutter. L'chora mashma, it seems to be that you can pour it straight in from the fleshik pot into the milchik dishes. Explicitly like this needs to be heter. Shadas Harav, the opinion he says, the opinion of the Ramah is the mutar la rosan to beklisha lahain. You can pour it in the milchik kalim afilu lachatchila. So that's what's mashma here. That's what the Isir V'Hedzer says, and that's what the Shvach says. Ella says the Shach Shakasha is a question. The Rekasa b'Sif Gimel. The Ramah so right to Sif Gimel. Dem ira mikli rishon shabas akli chalav dino kekli rishon ve'oser im haya ben yomo. It becomes aser. So what's going on? How can you put it in the milchik kalim straight? It's going to make it aser. The dochak gadol omer. It's pretty dochak to say. The kanlo kamer ela demachal mutar la rosa meklishan. You can pour it on their kli and you can eat the food. Avla kli aser, but the kli you have to kasher. That's what he means here. But tzarach lomer, you have to say not like the Yisrael, not like the Bach. Blomari kan lomari ela demutalin. You can put them in, but not derech here. You can't pour it straight in. You can put them in without pouring them in. Fine. Period. Now, Ad Khan, as far as the two Ramah. Now he says, what do I think halacha? Umikol makom in yondina, but halacha lamaisa tzorochian. The Ramah in Sif Gimel is tzorochian. The kima darbi poskim v'machaber michlal amatirim afil misbashlu. Many poskim are maker. You cook the potatoes, the fleshik pot. They're still par. V'arav b'hago gufe, and the Ramah himself over here in Sif Beis matir b'di'evid. If you already mix it with the cheese, you can eat it. It became nearest. Therefore, it seems it seems to be that b'di'evid you pour from the fleshik and the milchik kalim is permissible. It's like b'di'evid. It's like cooked in the fleshik pot, and then you mix it with the milchik pot. Below domi, and it's not comparable. It's not like what it talks about in Sif Gimel. You wash the fleshik plate in the milchik pot. Dahasam shani. There it's different than according to the Motzosser commercial cost of Iran. That's because the Ran explains with El Shano. He's quoting the Ran. One. Maybe the taste of meat and milk will mix without the water. It doesn't go from one kli to the other kli. Hilkoch lo have nat barnat. There's no heter nat barnat. Hilkoch therefore lo dama lekar. The argument should be like because there it doesn't go straight from the milk to the fleishiks. Because right now it's only parv, then you mix it with milchiks later. The Maida Sharinan, the Nat Barnat, Lav Mishum, the Savri, that Tam Harisha in Mispasha Shlishi. The reason we say Nat Barnat is mutter is not because by the time it gets to Tam Shlishi, it conks out. Tim Kane, if it really believed it conks out, Afilu Bishari Sum Namaname Ochi. It should apply by all Yisurim. Nat Barnat should be mutter, even if it was treif. The manda less the chaticha nasanavela. If you hold chaticha sanavela, so it goes into the first thing, it's like it becomes a brand new iser. If you don't chaticha nasanavela, it's not a new iser. So if you say the taste conks out in the second thing, it should matter in all isurim. V'anan lo sharina. We only matter not banat elba basar b'chalav and things like basar b'chalav b'kyotziv and similar things. Davein beis no saying tam shahadir. It's not banat. It's still mutter. Hilkuch. Therefore. We only say if we had a nat barnat and it's fleshik and there's no milk yet. Right? Avokan, when you put the plates in together, shatam sheni lo amad b'fnei. The second taste was never omid by itself. Klar whatsoever. Ella tegav shabal olam. The immediately that came into the world. It came to the water. At the same time, simultaneously, other taste came out. And it's arabit tamashal chalab. Mistabra vade de aser. That's why it's aser. Ukedivrei sefer truma. Ad kan the shona of the Rhine. So why did we machmir in Sif Gimel? And the Rhine says that what? Maybe they taste one plate to the other directly, or even if it just went through the water, it comes in simultaneously in the water. And that banana is only mutter if you have the second knot, and then later it mixes with the other thing. Says the Shach, v'chol zeh lo shayach b'iri. When you pour, it doesn't apply. You boil water in the fleshik pot, ta-da! So into the pot, into the water, and now it's already a nat barnat and didn't mix with the other thing. Now you pour it. You pour it, it's afterwards you mix it. And if things certainly don't touch, so there's no reason why you should be machmir. V'chein das yisu v'heter, dimir mikli rishon shabos achshachalav, mutter. V'af ha'rabbi Torah's chata sham din yud beis kosav shkol v'nir la'alocha. The Ramah writes, he really thinks yisu v'heter is right. Just say, ki divrei tam hein, it makes sense. Ella says the Ramah in Torah's Chaydas. Kimidumali, it seems to be shalom nagu lahaka b'chay gavna. The minhag olive is not to be meko. When you pour, amna b'hevsim ruba, they said tzarach yesh l'smoch olav. Even the Ramah admits that in the makom tzarach you can make it, but he doesn't ask b'di'evid. Ad kan Ramah. Shuv matzasi, says the Shach, shagam et shuvas masas binyamid pasakain. You pour one to the other, it's not a problem. Because of shkol ha'machar b'zeh, ain't an element of mesmir. Anybody who wants to be machar, it's like, you don't understand what he's talking about. So b'kitzur, the Ramah here is machmir. The Ramah Torah's Chat is mekel behevsid ruba, right? Or mokam atzok. It seems to me from the Shach, he really pushes that you can really be mekel anybody ever, not hefsid ruba. Don't do it l'chatzila, but he ever should be mutter. Okay, that is Shach number. Hey, what we skipped. That's why it didn't make any sense to do it until now because you saw the other Ramah and Sif Gimel. Next, please look at the Shach Yud Ches. This is important. Ira. Because of B'taras Chato Sham, B'Shem Iser V'Heter, V'Afil B'Maro Mikli Shel Iser, Al Kli Shel Heter, you pour from a treif Kli and a Heter Kli, Ein Lesser, it only asers Rak HaKli Shabbat Kulach Iri Olav, only the Kli that it hits. In other words, when you pour here, this is the Iri Kli Rishon. What happens after that is Kli Sheni. So therefore, if you have, let's say, water cooked in a treif Kli, and it hits this Kli is aser. But all the other kelim, the water now touches, is like a Kli Sheni, don't become aser. Meshachter said in the name of Soloveitchik that in Hilchos Shabbos, let's say you have a cup with, I don't know, coffee, tea at the bottom, without discussing what the halacha is, and you pour on the side of the Kli, and then it goes down to the coffee or tea, that is not Iri Kli Rishon, that is halacha of Kli Sheni. Because it hit this and then it went down. It's only where it hits directly. That's what Soloveitchik said. Look, eventually it's going to reach up, okay? We'll discuss about tea and coffee eventually. We're not here in the Hilchos Shabbos. Don't. Okay, now it comes the second half of the Ramah. What did the Ramah say here? Picking up from the Chaf Beis of the Gra. Aval im ira mayim roschim she'enin shabasa v'lo shachalav. You pour parable water. Al kelim shabasa v'shachalav yachad. You have mixed milk and flesh of kelim. Afilu shuman davak ben. not kosher. There's food on them, right? Fleishik, milk are kosher. The ain iri kekli rishon mamish. Iri is not like mamish the rishon. Shewat sheyaseh shakelim shamar aleim yivlu zeh mizeh. Tishma, you have water cooked in a milchik kli, right? So on the stove in the rishon, you pulled out the milchik taste. Then it hits the fleishik kli. Ignoring that part, it goes into the fleishik kli. This goes into this. But it's not enough iri to pull out of this and put into this. It can take what's in it and put into that. Or pull something out of that. But it can't take out of this and put into that. Therefore, you pour the par of water over the milk of fleishik kalim, everything is mutter. I told you, this Rabbi Amar basically says if you wash the milk and fleishik dishes in the sink together, from where we have hot water, which only iri rishon, but everything is mutter. Even though there's cheese and meat, everything in the sink. Right? That's what comes out according to this Ramah. Says the Shach over here in Chaf. You with me? Ve'ein iri kli alef mamish. Kashali domashma medivya rav b'hago b'siman samach esif yud. Okay, it talks there about maliga there. Maliga is, you want to get the feathers out of the chicken, so you pour hot water on the chicken to pull the feathers out. Now the problem is, the chicken wasn't kosher yet. So the problem is that you're going to pull blood out, and then the blood's going to go back in, and then once blood comes in and out, you can't kosher anymore. It's finished, the chicken. Okay? So it says here, the iri mavasha kadei klipa, and you won't be able to kosher the chicken. You have to say, it's a steer in Ramah. There it's Ramah, and here it's Ramah. Here it says it doesn't pull out of this and put it into this, and there it says it pulls out of there and puts it back in it. So it says, Tzorach Lomar, the Sfir Le Rav, the Ramah is of the opinion. Dini mavasha kadei klipa, even, no. They kokach. Right, not klipas with a kuf. Even though it cooks enough iri, that the chicken goes out of it and back in, that's only in and out of food. A kli which is hard. You don't take out of food and put into a kli. Ain't a bolea. The ain't a maflid kach is bikli shu kosher. It's only into other food you can do it, but not into a kli. Ochein. That's what the Ramah holds, and there's no steer in Ramah. Ochein le'inyan dina b'halach l'maisin says the Shach. Nira kamosha kosa b'goshari duru b'shem ha'arash u'mavir b'toras chatas. Dinesru, he thinks they become aser. You wash the dishes like the Ramah, it becomes aser. The keva and the kaim alone. Since we pass in the iri mavashe, or since we pass iri's mavashe, kamoshi spar b'simin kufei. Im kein choshev kibishol mamish. It's mamish cause bishol. U'mavli afilu b'kli. He thinks it is mavli even into a kli against the Ramah. That what food and kelim are the same. Even according to the mandamor, that even a klisheni, he takes the taste out and puts it in. Ein svara l'chalik b'kli. There's no difference between food and a kli. Shekosva ma shekosva Rabbi Chaim Cohen. That karnagolim sheniblu b'shisheni. According to Rabbi Chaim Cohen, you pull out the feathers, not water in a klisheni asurim. Vizel lishono, and this is the lashon of, I guess, the Gos Ashri and the Mordechai. When the feed the very corner of Chaim Cohen, all the kelim you do, you pour that water on the chicken, get the feathers out, the kelim become also. Right? Call Akim Shemogim Hematarni Golas, Machmas, right? Excuse me. Hayun Yasam, call Akim Shemogim Hematarni Golas. All the kelim that you do this into the chicken, it becomes also. Machmas Adam Shapoletis Hatarni Golas, because the blood that comes out of the chicken, whenever the bakli gets absorbed in the kli ad kan lishon of the Hagos Ashri and the Mordechai. You see, they hold that what? If you hold in a klisheni, it pulls out and pulls in. Same thing, it pulls out of the chicken and put into the kli. So you see, once it goes in and out of food, it'll go in and out of kelim. So we don't pass necessarily that by klisheni, but you can plug it in what we hold by a iri kli rishon. There's no difference. In kain koshkein lamad the kaim alon the iri mavashel. Certainly the way we pass iri is mavashel. The mavashel I feel like it cooks its vashel even to a kli. The kain kosav marshal b'sivra perakola bosa sov siman samach dalet. V'zel lishono. Ramashal writes, "Hechesh iri maim shelo roskim alakaros." When you pour hot water on the plates, tzrichim ledakdek, you have to check out and lishon ask ima yoshir machal if there are remnants of food. The fish iri mafter mavliya kedei klipa, it'll take it out of the food into the kelim. Ad kam lishono. The gam rabbe toras chatasham kosav Shalom nahagil b'zeh. Even though here he's mekel, when he quoted earlier over here, you only mekel b'di'evet and b'shas ha-tchak. Right? Eish hatzorach. Sheish la'achmir b'akum shen hefsim ruba. V'isa v'heter d'hiter. This heter was mekel in this shayla with the hot water over the milk and flesh of kalim. Afilu shuman davik ben. Even though shuman is a davik, hainu mishum. That's because Yisuf heter other time. He found his own shita. The sfira iri enem avashal. Iri is a avashal. Mafli a mafli. He also is a mavashal. Not to take taste in and out. Afilu kedei klipa. Ela bolea kedei klipa. Come shetzai. It's only mavli until the kli before it cools it off. It doesn't go in and out of food. Avolamai the kaim alon. According to what we pass in the irim of vasha kadei klipa near commercial kosavti. Period. So it comes out as follows. According to the Ramah here, it's mutter. According to the Shach, it is osir. And he says the Marshal says the same thing. And he says the Ramah in Torah Chatos, he only doesn't say it's mutter. He says only mutter b'makom hefsed ruba. Now the three levels here: in and out of food into a kli. Now what about out of one kli into the next kli? Now he's discussing. Okay, miu hechadem nikiyim. You have the milthik and flesh kalim together, and you pour on it both the ben yom, and you're pouring in hot water, not in the water. You're pouring in hot water. Vade yesh lahatir. You can be mekel mitam no same time bar no same time. Kinamashme divrei marshal. Stop. Because here it's not barnat. Ask the Prima Godim. 1 second. He's talking according to the Ramah. I mean, the way we paskin simultaneously it comes out. It's no good, right? So here, l'chora, it simultaneously could come out at the same time, right? It hits both the milk and flesh kalim at the one time. It comes out together. So how can he say it's not barnat, right? We don't pass like the Machar. We pass like the Ramah in that. So the Prima Godim says he's mitzvah of two things. First of all, whether it's not barnat, it's a machlokas b'chab Ramah. Then there's another machlokas here, whether or not it's mafli or mavliya kachas, right? And even though the shach was machmir, that it's even mafli into kalim, but you have the two together, you have to be machmir. In other words, you have two stadim l'hakel. Either one might be machmir, but the two together you can be mekel. First of all, it may not go in, pull out and go into kalim, right? Correct? And B, even if it does, you always have the machaber of not barnat to rely. Okay? Then he says, now let's take a different case. We have kalim mixed here, kosher kalim and treif kalim. And now I pour. Here there's no heter of not bar, not, but it's from a kli into a kli. Avol hechadavi kli shel iser, the lo shech bei no same time bar no same time. You don't have that cheshbon. Near dafilu nok, even though it's clean also, because it takes out of a kli into a kli. V'tzorachin b'zeh, you have to check it out. Efshir afilu mevasha, it could be even though it cooks. Lo mevasha kuli hai, it doesn't cook so much. Shivshal min hakli v'yivil b'kli. It'll take out of food into a kli, but one kli, the other kli, he's not so sure. Ulefi zeh, according to this, gam b'kelim shabasa v'cholav. According to what I said, you have milting and flesh kelim. She'echem mehem noki. One is clean, v'echem mehem eino noki. Aser, sha'noki aser. The clean one is aser because it goes from the food into the kli. Aber she'eino noki, eino noki, so the food is on it. The other one has no food. Does it come out of the other one and go into this kli? Right? He's not sure. V'she'eino noki tzorochi inema kiva de noki nasen avela. You say, since that one became treif, so it pulls out of there and goes back into here. Chosev and oser hasheni. Kivan shemar love kol pam, because you keep on pouring on it. Onema, do we say, the iri lo mevasha kula high from one kli to the other kli. V'yesh lahachmir b'shnei, she machmir in both. Even on the Eino Noki, and also when it's talking about treif and everything's clean. Mamakam have said meruba, kinira, because it appears, keva and the mevasha, since it cooks, choshev mamish, hibishol. It's like bishol, takes even out of kalim. That's Constantinople, Istanbul. Shnat Shuva, that's 1553, I think. 3. De'ain chilik bazeh, there's no difference. Okay? Sum up now. Okay? So far. If they're both dirty and you pour water on it, according to the Ramah, it's mutter. According to the Shach, it is awesome. 8. if they're both clean, so then the shach is meko. You mitzaref that it doesn't take from one kli into another kli, plus the fact that it might be not barnat. And if it's treif kalim here, right, without the not barnat cheshbon, then he's not sure, and he says you should be machmer unless it's have some meruba. Now comes the shita of the Taz. And there's also Marshal and Taz here, okay? Because the Shach didn't quote the whole Marshal. Oh, now what did the Ramah wrote here? The Ramah wrote here that you put the water in the water simultaneously, they're both also. It comes out. You put them one after the other, it is mutter. If you put them together, but it's a klisheni, it is mutter, right? That's what Ramah wrote here. Next to the Yud Beis of the Shach. Oh, but klisheni, afilu b'yachad, everything is mutter. On that, the Shach Yud Beis goes. Oh, b'klisheni hakol shar, everything is mutter. Says the Shach over here. What? Taz Beit Yud Beis. Perish afilu hayu melachlachos, even though they were dirty and they're putting the water together. It's a klisheni. Kamosha kosav achar kach gab irik. Ramaz make it even by iri in this case, not only klisheni. B'chosh keinu, if it's mutter and iri, according to the Ramaz, only mutter and klisheni. The iri chomer meklisheni. Iri is more chomer meklisheni. Lidi don the way we pass. Period. That's the Ramah. Umarshal perekola bosa siman samach dalid cholek al zeh. He argues because and he writes dimhaya shal melichloch mi bosa b'cholav. He writes if it was actual fleshig and milthik dirt in a klisheni, also afilu b'klisheni. Yesh lochlosh, you have to be afraid. Al lichloch yismach al tochamayim. Lichloch will be melted into the water and it'll go into. V'yu nechshavim kaguf yisur. It's like you actually have bosa b'cholav here, and it goes into the kelim. Achain, he writes, Ki mishu ksas k'mo chumra. It's a little bit of a chumra that it's ashes and klisheni. And hamara tzorach lisholozeh. The Mora Hara doesn't have to interrogate and find out if there's actual milthik and fleishiks there. Im hayu milchlachos. He doesn't have to ask if they're actually dirty. Ad shizbar lo mei, unless he finds out from by itself. Shu milchlachos. In other words, if you find out they're dirty, you ask them klisheni. But they don't tell you, you don't have to ask any questions. Because the whole thing is only a chumrah, you only machmer if you know about it.
If immediately finds out, then it should say it's also?
Yes. Avo, be'irui, if they pour hot water on shemavliya maflit ad kedei klipa, that puts the taste in and out, kedei klipa, vare osur b'shurei machol. It's certainly osur b'shurei machol, against the Ramah. V'tzorach lisho, and if it's through ilu, you have to ask. Im haya hadachai deiri. You have to ask if the hadacha was through iri. The fish min astam, because min astam, you have to check whether there's iri. You have to check that out. Fish min astam regil and loros alem kli rishon. Sheitzah usually pour it from a kli rishon. Im lo sheyadu, unless you know shlo yasham hayde iri. Unless you know it wasn't through iri. Oz ein tzorach lishol. You have to ask then. Im haya sham shuri macha, whether there's actual food. Ad kind of end of the Marshal. So the end of the Marshal says, through Irui, everything's also whether you have, if you have food. Correct. A. And you have to check it was through Irui. But if, but you should, because usually you are through Irui. So you have to check. A. You have to check. If, and then you have a problem if it's dirty. If you find, once you find out it was a klisheni, you don't have to ask anymore whether it was dirty. That's the Marshal. Next, says the Taz now. Lefi aneistait, he says the Taz, my personal opinion is, Nira lachriya bezel l'maisid de'iri yesh l'asor shneim. Through Irui, they're both osir, right? Im hayasham shuri machol mishneim. If it's dirty from both. That's like the Shach and here too, in this point we're like the Marshal. V'maya echem meluchluch v'abeiz naki. If one was dirty and one wasn't dirty, oz nesaran naki, because it goes from food into the kli. It doesn't, but the other one apparently doesn't become osir. Avo b'klisheni, in a klisheni, ain't osir shirim machol. The klisheni is not worried about it at all. Kiwa de kaimalon klisheni, I feel a yatzoletus lo mavli of mafli. A klisheni, even though it's yatzoletus, doesn't take taste in or out. Kamosha kozver toras chatas klal nun zayin. I'm going to stop right here. So right now, if I'm not mistaken, we have, if my cheshbon is correct, 4 shitos. You have the Ramah, the Shach, the Maharshal, and the Taz. Okay? Correct? The Ramah and the Ramah, we said, Iri never asers even though they're both dirty. Correct? The Maharshal says Iri asers, and he says Klisheni mitzad chumra asers. You don't have to ask if it was dirty. If you know it was a, you have to check whether it was a Klisheni. Then you have the Taz, that Klisheni is mutter. Irui is osir, but if they're kelim or clean, then it's mutter. Correct? But it doesn't go from one kli to the other kli through Irui. And then you have the Shach, who says that even if they're both clean, he's not sure, and he should be machmir unless there's hefsim meruba. Unless it's miltik and fleishik, then he can throw in the nat barnat. Those are the 4 shitas over here. I say that too quickly. You can just go over it. I just collected all the shitas here, and you can go over it. If you're not going, whatever, just line it up. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yes, no. You can speed of the tape. Anybody want to repeat it? Not necessary.
Can you say it again?
Okay, according to the Ramah, Iri doesn't answer, right? According to the Marshal, Iri answers, and even the Klisheni it answers, right? But you don't have to check it out. According to the Taz, Iri, Klisheni doesn't answer, Iri answers, but not from one kli to the other kli. That he's not machmer on. The last part of the shach he's making on. From one kli to the other kli, it takes out a food into a kli, but it doesn't take from a kli into a kli. And the shach says, no, I'm choshesh, it might take from a kli into kli, unless it's hefsim ruba. But he's makel from kli into kli, one in miltik and one fleishik, because you can also then throw in the nat barnat svar. Okay, now you have the next part of this. Now, most of what's in the rest of this Taz we already had in the Shach Yud Gimel, but he has one line here, which is it's some chiddush and nobody else ever says. Kosa bisa v'heter, the ein chiluk, there's no difference. Imidiach bekli rishon, karos and karos, bowls with bowls, umasha korim beloshkan ashkenaz teller and tellers with tellers. Lo aminu, we don't say the mashnish tamish bekli sheni eno oser. We don't say since it's only using a kli sheni, it doesn't aser. Remember, the Ramah said it's only a problem is bolei and a kli rishon, but not from a kli sheni. Right? He wrote next to the Yud Gimel the Shach, problem is that it's blias kli rishon. Mashma blias kli sheni, it wasn't a problem. Still, in all these things you have to worry about it. Why? Tekeva nosim ala basar osech. Since you put hot meat through iri, imkain al yidei iri yosav harbe bolei yisur b'kula. Then it's bolei on the whole thing. I'll come back to this. Koshkein akapos regilis lititam b'kli rishon. The kapos you often put in a kli rishon. Avon vare luishtamesh b'kli rishon tolchem eisleis. He wasn't using the kli rishon for the last 24 hours. Ein orser b'diavad. Umorecham hiskim k'yiseret. The Shach wrote about this, that even though you can make off was using a kli sheni, but you have to make sure it really wasn't using a kli rishon. Of course, it might have been used once in a kli rishon in the last 24 hours. Some things usually using a kli sheni, but once in a while using a kli rishon, you have to check it out. You have to analyze what happened. Right? That was the Shach. Fine. The one, so basically, it's the same as the Shach quoted, right? He just throws in this one thing that usually Iri only makes it Asher Kedei Klipa, right? It's Bolei Kedei Klipa. He writes here, Aidei Irios Harbe, to many Irios, it's Bolei Bekulo. That's like new on the books here. Because you think, it might go back again and again in the same Klipa, but how does it permeate further? He says no. Through constant iruis, it's bolei in the whole kli. Now the Pri Megadim writes over here. Pri Megadim writes over here on this Taz. One moment here. When we call Makom the maiden Mikana, New Chidushdin, the many Irios Bolei Bekulo. Then he writes, Sorach Ion Ledina. Then he says, even according to this, all the Irios have to be in one day. Because otherwise, the first one conked out already. It became Pogum. On the Taz here, Yud Beis. Towards the end of it, the last 2 lines of it.
No, it would be if you cut off that part.
Yeah. So also, if you're koshering it, how you kosher it? You kosher it through Irui, or you have to kosher it in a Kli Rishon.
In order to kosher a cleave entirely trade, you have to use a cleavage.
Yeah. Okay. Period. Next.
Well, why is it such a, how did you say that, it was harder?
Because it is the klipa, the first, it just goes to klipa. So it might go 100 times in the same klipa. More and more.
The more time maybe you sin and the more times it goes, the more and more it permeates.
Exactly what he says.
So why
But,
is it-
but nobody else says that. Did you ever see that before anywhere?
It's logical to say that's what happens chemically, the more things.
Chemically, I have nothing to say. I'm sorry, it's not my. You might be right. It's nothing to say. Let's talk about sinks. Okay, Rav Moshe Feinstein has a long tshuva on sinks. In Igros Moshe, Yeridei Chelik Aleph Simon Mem Beis. Now, he's discussing, you clean the sink out. You want to wash milk and fleshik dishes in the same sink, and you clean it out between uses. There's no actual ban of fleshiks when you wash the milk dishes. A. So he says, remember, the only thing that's irui is the thing that hits directly, correct? So he says the only time there would be a problem is if there would be a piece of fleshiks here, and the irui hit it directly. And then it would be mavliya here, a kidei klipa, the spot where it hit. Everywhere else is a klisheni. And then you'd have a problem if exactly on the exact same spot within 24 hours there was a piece of cheese and the irui hit it there. And he says it would probably be mutter then, because how much is a kidei klipa here? And probably the stream of water is strong enough that there's a shishim there in the stream against the whatever was here. Therefore, he says that probably b'diavad is going to be okay anyway. So he says halacha l'maisa that you can wash milk and fleshiks in the same things, provided you clean out the sink in between. But lachatchila, you should put the kelim straight on the sink. You should put them on some rack that they sit on that actually touch the sink. But he says if the sink would get back up and be submerged, you won't have to worry about it, b'diavad. Or let's say the thing falls off the rack and falls onto the sink, you don't have to worry about it. I guess I don't know. I don't remember exactly what. Okay.
What about steam rising to the faucet?
Can you wait? No, just wait until we get to steam, okay?
Yeah.
But that's probably it's steam from a klisheni, probably. That hits the klisheni and then goes back up.
But if you're washing off the garbage off the plate.
It plates the klisheni then, no? Okay, wait. Can you just hold up with
Yeah.
okay?
What's the cliche here?
What?
What's the cliche here?
His claim?
No, in general.
The sink.
Okay.
Now, the Baalei Shulchan in Sifkat Pei quotes Rav Moshe, but he also quotes Pei and Pei. He also quotes the Minchas Yitzchak. That was head of the Badas, used to be the Rav of Manchester. So he writes, "L'chatchila you should have two sinks. If you can't have two sinks, then you should never wash the dishes straight in the sink. You should have basins. One basin for fleshiks, one basin for milfiks. And you should never put the basin straight on the sink. You should put them on a big board, a fleshik board for a fleshik basin and a milfik board for a milfik basin. You should wash the sink out well between usages and make sure it doesn't back up. Baalei Shulchan quotes both. It isn't machriya. Where I come from, they always make it like Rav Moshe. I don't really know too much more about it. What? I don't know. You have to look up the tshuva. You know the Minchas Yitzchak was? Diane Weiss. Okay? He was the Rav in Manchester. And then he became the head of the Badatz here. And the one who pushed him to be the head of the Badatz was the old Satmar Rav. So I said to him, but in Manchester, he's not the Rav of the Haredim. He's a rabbi there of the more not so Haredi community. So allegedly the Satmar Rav said, but he's a really big Talmud Chacham, and it's easier to take a Talmud Chacham and to make him into a Kanoi than take a Kanoi and make him into a Talmud Chacham. Okay, now, what's the story with a dishwasher? Okay, Rav Moshe has a tshuva. This, I don't know, a lot of people don't hold from, okay? In your Adeh Chelik Beis, in Simon Chav Ches, he holds you use the same dishwasher for milchiks and fleishes, provided you have separate racks for milchiks and fleishes. Not the same racks, but same dishwasher. He says the reason why it's okay is any taste balua in the walls is not barnat. He says you don't put the dishes in together. He says like here, you have one in the water and then the next one in the water, right? He says there's no problem. It's only when the water at the same time. And he said even if they use the same water over again, which we don't in our dishwashers, it would be okay, because one then, one the other. What about the actual dirt? As far as, right? So he says, on the sides of the walls, sometimes dirt on the, it's the, what? Give me a second, okay? So he says, even if there's something there, and what are you afraid of that? In the same jet, it's going to hit the dirt and hit the clay. He says there'll always be shishim. There'll always be shishim against it. So he says, the mlichluk, anyway, we don't use the same water, right? So there's no lichluch there. And as far as what's balua is not barnat. And the actual little bend that you're worried about there, if it hits in the same jet, it'll be always be shishim. He says that's only in basar b'chol. But for Pesach, if you have a treif dishwasher, then you really have to kasher out and find out if your dishwasher is kasherable. This thing is only for milchiks or fleishiks. Now, they put out in Machon Summit Tchumen. Once was an article by Rabbi Rosen Zachon Levracha. He argued on this, and he claimed the mitzias is there's not shishim in the jets of water all the time. And there's soap there. He didn't buy that either. We never discussed soap yet. The Bari Shulchan Os Pei Aleph is also machmir, and he writes because of the dirt, and he claims there's no shishim, and then he says you can never clean it out properly because at the bottom there's a reshet, a mesh that collects stuff, and it's almost impossible to clean it out. You can never kasher a strainer or anything like that. Look in Hilchas Pesach, Tofin Rav Sif Yud Ches and Ramah. So he says he doesn't hold from it. Okay. Look, you have to. Okay. Now I never had a dishwasher which had a window in it to see what was going on there. So I have nothing to say about it. That's A. B. There are a lot of, Rosh has a lot of tshuvas on this. I just told you where the original was because people questioned it and he answered back all the time. That was the original tshuva. Now, also you have to check the different types of dishwashers. Like some dishwashers only have water from hot water system. That's irui. But like a dishwasher we have has a heating element in it, right? So that is really a kli rishon, right? Things like that. I don't know what happens in the yeshiva. My house. I look at it when it's open. So. Also, there's another thing. It dries afterwards. And then you open it up, all this steam comes out, right? Let's say you have a little bit of dirt at the bottom. And then the steam goes up with that blee of that dirt. I don't know how you have to really, it's a bato b'shishim in the steam. Can you bato shishim in the steam? I don't know anything about it. I once had a shayla for some bala tshuva who, in her house, they use the same dishwasher, not the same time, with the same racks. With the same racks. Moshe doesn't like that. He's afraid some dirt's going to get stuck on the rack, and then the next dish is going to touch it. I asked Rabbi Willick, he thought she could be Mako. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, not l'chatchila, but she could eat in her parents' house. You don't have to worry about it. Not at the same time, but on the same rack. Okay, for next time. You with me? First, finish the Ramah here. We find a milcha kelim we mixed up with the flesha kelim. Starting with the chav gimel of the groys. Then please do the taz yudalid. Then do please sif dalid with the shach chaf aleph and with the taz tezvav. That's how soap, where that fits in. And then if we have time, please finish the siman with the rest of the shachs and the Taz Yud Ches. Now, after Yirtzeh Hashem will meet on Thursday. But next week, Kitzer, there won't be, because it's Hanukkah. So,
Not Monday?
I want to go in for Halakas Neros, and then I have to come back later for my guys. I did a missy boat that night. Anyway, but Kitzur, so believe that or just this week, and then next week will be off. We could do better. We could steal his passport.